over black. We hear a smacking and licking noise. Fade in interior Scott's house, living room. We open up on a pair of lips, and oh man, are they dry as hell.
Gavin, it's your turn.
Gavin snaps out of his daze. It is revealed that the group of friends are playing poker.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Gavin goes to take a sip of his Mountain Dew. It's empty.
Bro, I can't even think right now. I need a drink.
Gavin gets up and starts picking up everyone's empty soda cans.
Since you're already up, can you grab me one?
Yeah, no. Scott, how about you?
Sure.
To Jared.
Hey, buddy, you want one?
We see Jared. He's tall and lanky. Pee-pee big.
No, it's in there.
Cut. Not his way.
You can't see it, but he's got a shot.
You can't see it, but he's got
We
a
know who wrote the fucking story.
He's got a fractured neck, wearing neck braces, and he's building his phone in front of his face because the neck brace restricts his movements.
Give me 1 second.
Hey Jay, would you want a Mountain Dew?
Huh? Oh no, I'm good. I got one.
Jared shows him his drink. It's about half full still.
Okay.
Gavin nods his head.
Okay.
Gavin heads off to get more Mountain Dew for everyone.
Whose turn is it? Y'all didn't skip me, right?
Jacob looks at Jared with bewilderment. Did he really just say that?
Alright, I gotta take a shit. Y'all can chill and take a break until I get back.
You might want to use Febreze, that's like a huge ass dump earlier.
God damn it.
Jacob gives Jared a look of judgment and shakes his head in disbelief, and he goes to the bathroom to avoid furthering the conversation. Jared smiles.
He's gonna be pissed when he finds out I used all the toilet paper.
Jared puts his earbuds in, and Scott takes his glasses off, then lifts his chair off the ground. In the background, we see Gavin opening the fridge. Gavin looking in the fridge, and then the fridge is mostly empty. There's a half-eaten burger thrown on a plate, a bottle of ketchup, and an open pack of Pop-Tarts. To the right of them, there's an open 12-pack of Mountain Dew. He pulls it out halfway, holding it in his hands. He looks down at his plate, at his soda. His lips dry as hell. The light leads off to the soda. Gavin stares into it as if looking for the soda's non-extension soul. And then the soda is practically staring back at his.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, what's up?
There's only one soda left. Is it okay if I have that?
Scott's chair falls off the ground as if he suddenly lost his grip.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Gavin turns away from Scott and grabs the cola. When he turns around, Scott is very angrily coming towards him. Scott punches him in the dick. And the soda falls out of his hand and onto the floor.
You must have forgot.
Yeah.
You're at my house, bitch.
Scott picks up the soda can and goes to wash it off. In the background, we see Gavin recovering. And while Scott washes the can
Fourth
off,
paragraph.
Gavin gets up.
I'm going to cut that burger off your fucking face and return it to your grandmother's mouth.
Oh, fuck, man.
Gavin pins Scott against the sink with his elbows
Go ahead, shake.
and pushes his thumbs against Scott's eyes. Scott groans in agony. He moves his hand around, searching for the dish holder.
Take your time, man.
We see a kitchen knife and a single glass plate. As Scott wrestles to get free with his left hand, he finally finds the dish holder and grabs it. Gavin notices this and jerks his hands, causing Scott to pull the dish holder into the sink. Jared on his phone with his earbuds in. He's listening to Gwen Stefani, and he has no clue what's going on. In the background, we see Gavin still pressing his thumbs into Scott's poor eyes. Scott goes to reach for the glass plate again and finally gets a hold of it. He smashes it on top of Gavin's head, and Gavin turns around in pain,
Are you pretending to fight?
grabbing his head, which is now bleeding. In the forefront of the camera, Jared is humming the song and dancing the beat he can with the neck brace on. Jared goes to pick up his drink, and when he takes a sip, he notices it's empty. This is all happening at the same time in the same shot. Scott on Gavin's back, trying to choke him until he passes out. Gavin pulls Scott over his shoulder and onto the ground. The whole time, Scott's eyes are closed and bleeding. Gavin goes to punch him when, boop, an empty Taco Bell cup hits him in the head. What's the nerd? He's a complete disbelief.
Come on. Hit me, bitch. You think you stopped me, but you haven't. You merely delayed my plans.
Hand me the Mountain Dew and you will live.
What are you gonna do? Take it, you broken neck ass. Oh.
Gavin looks up and sees Jared holding a samurai sword. Scott is looking in Jared's direction, but he can't see shit, so he just looks lost. Gavin starts to walk towards Jared.
Put the sword down. You're gonna hurt yourself, Jared.
One step closer and I will slice your balls open, put your testicles in a jar, then I'll hang your cock off the wall like it's a deer trophy.
Jacob smiles. This makes Gavin deeply uncomfortable.
I will never surrender!
Gavin gets off of Scott, puts his hand on the signal surrender, and then he slowly creeps over to the sink, trying not to alarm Jared. When he gets off of Scott, Scott tries to get up but struggles. Gavin grabs the soda can, then rolls it up to Jared. Jared bends down to get it, and as soon as he grabs it, we hear a toilet flush down the hallway. Jared's eyes widen, and he looks down the hallway to the bathroom. Gavin starts to move forward. Jared hears him, then looks over at Gavin and Scott.
Move and you both die.
Jared turns around with the samurai sword, and then he starts to head off toward the hallway.
Scott, there's no toilet paper.
Look in the cabinet.
Off screen, we hear him opening the cabinet door while Jared is creeping down the hallway with the samurai sword.
There's no toilet paper in there either.
Count of 3. We're gonna run down the hallway, take the sword from him, and then we can slip him out of here.
Gavin slowly starts to make his way towards the hallway. Scott is looking lost still. Jacob is washing his hands. He looks down and sees Jared's shoes.
Who's outside the door?
Close-up shot of Jared's face. He looks worried.
It's Jared, I'm just waiting for you to get out, man.
You want?
Jacob turns the sink off and then wipes his hands off on a hand towel.
We don't have it. You're going to use all the toilet paper again. Asshole!
Jared waiting outside the bathroom. We see Gavin behind Jared at the end of the hallway. And then Gavin puts his finger up to gesture
Two, it's coming.
to Scott. Jacob quickly opens the door and throws an empty toilet paper roll at Jared's face.
Get his neck.
Everything goes into slow motion as Gavin runs down the hall angrily. Jared quickly turns around, dropping his sword. Then we see a slow motion shot of the samurai sword hitting the floor. We see a shot of Jacob shaking his head and smiling with his thumbs up. Then a shot of Scott feeling around blindly. When the camera cuts back to Jared, the slow motion stops when his neck cracks and he grabs his neck.
Oof.
Jared attempts to walk forward but drops to his knees dramatically.
I will get back up and your balls will be mine.
Jared falls onto the ground. Jared gets the soda out of his back pocket, and Gavin picks up the sword from behind Jared's legs.
Just in case of
Gavin looks down at Jared, who groans. He then looks back at Jacob.
No, his neck broke his fuck.
I'm chair back.
How'd you know to help me?
I did it. Motherfucker used all the toilet paper. So why were y'all fighting? He had a whole ass sword.
Gavin points at the Mount Dude with the sword. The light shines off of it, as if it were truly a gift from God.
It was, the last one.
Damn, talk about overreacting.
They sit in silence for a second. Gavin's face is blank, then he goes to speak, not blinking once.
Yeah. So can I have my soda?
It's the last one, man.
Yeah, it's not.
For sure, bro.
They sit in silence for another second.
You gonna give it to me or?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of thirsty.
Give me the damn soda, and I promise myself.
Jacob slowly backs up into the bathroom and tries to shut the door on Gavin.
Alright, fuck it.
Gavin forces the door open and swings the sword at Jacob. Jacob has barely a second to react when blood spatters against the wall, the mirror, and onto his
It's your
face.
first time seeing this. Okay.
Jacob's head rolls into frame. Gavin realizes what he just did. He looks at the scene of the crime he just committed. His stomach rumbles like he's going to throw up.
Do not
He
knock on my
gags.
head.
Disgusting.
Gavin shuts the bathroom door.
You want that weed boy?
Gavin walking out of the hallway, holding the Mount Dude in his left hand, with the samurai sword chilling in his right hand.
Hey Scott, I got it. I don't want to do anything as simple as fuck ass man. So I'm gonna go and drink the first half. You get the second.
Gavin looks up and doesn't see Scott. The camera takes to Gavin's POV. He looks around the room and it's empty. We switch back to the shot of Gavin looking around.
That's like the narrator.
And we pan to reveal Scott is standing behind Gavin with a kitchen knife. Scott's eyes are closed. Then he puts his glasses back on and his eyes are open extremely wide. Dry blood coming from his eyes. He looks like Gerard Way crying.
So, you chosen death.
The camera takes Scott, first person point of view. Gavin turns toward the camera in shock. The camera moves as if Scott was running towards him. And when it reaches Gavin's face, the camera switches to the side of Gavin and Scott. We hear the knife go inside of Gavin. In shock, his facial expression doesn't change. His body goes limp and his arms drop. We hear the soda and the sword falling to the ground.
Bro.
Get fucked. Scott pulls the knife out of Gavin.
Get off my knife.
You want to make this?
Gavin falls on the floor, and when he hits the ground, blood falls out of his mouth. Scott picks the soda up, and sits down at the table. He props his feet up and looks down to see Mount Dude is dented all to hell. Scott tries to open it, but it erupts in his face. He goes to take a sip anyways, but he's interrupted by the ring of his phone. He wipes his glasses off and puts them back on. He picks it up and looks at the name on the screen. It says, Zach. He looks at the door. He grabs his knife and heads off screen. The camera pans away from where Scott was to the door very slowly to reveal Zach looking in. Zach has long blonde hair and loves marijuana. Same as Jacob.
Hey Scott, open the door. I'm here.
Zach knocks on the door. No response. Zach shrugs and then opens the door. He is holding an unopened box of sodas.
Hey, I've got a 12-pack of cocaine. What's up?
Zach walks in and sees Gavin's dead body. He puffs on his jewel and then he speaks. Smoke comes out of his mouth into Gavin's face.
Oh shit, you okay, dude? Your lips look dry as hell.
The door shuts behind Zach, and when Zach turns around, Scott puts his knife up to Zach's throat. Scott takes a sip of his Mountain Dew. He whispers into Zach's ear.
I regret nothing.
Zach looks at the knife, horrified.
For some reason, my dick is hard as hell.
You know what? So's mine.
Scott drops his kitchen knife. Zach drops a 12-pack, then rips his shirt off.
Ah, look at my big old man titties. Ooh yeah.
Scott licks his lips.
Wasn't for the Mountain Dew, the wolf may never know.
Scott jumps the camera as if he's going to take Zach a big old smooch. Overlay a soda commercial. Mount Dew. Do the do. Credits roll.